Hello, everyone, and welcome aboard this special presentation of how to charge higher fees. Today, we're going to identify some of the mistakes CPAs make when they price their services and show you how to fix those mistakes with powerful strategies that you can put to work for your practice immediately. My name is Ed Lyon, and I'm the founder of the TAXCOACH system. I've written half a dozen books on tax and financial planning topics. I've appeared on over 300 radio and television broadcasts, including CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, and CNBC. Most important, I've personally coached over 100 CPAs across the country to help them build the practice of their dreams. I've seen firsthand what works and what doesn't work. At the end of this seminar, you'll get to enjoy a special offer from TAXCOACH System, 15 days free membership, including a one-on-one consultation with one of our business building experts. Just visit taxcoachsystem.com/AICPA to try it. CPAs across the country have discovered how TAXCOACH helps them charge what they're worth. Here at TAXCOACH, we're changing businesses and we're changing lives, and we'd love to have you join us. You would think that with as many CPAs as there are, the path to charging higher fees would be clearly marked. But that's just not the case, especially if you're managing your own small firm. That's why I'm here today, to help you chart a course through your clients and your competition that nets you the income you deserve while still leaving clients delighted with the value you deliver. Why don't I go ahead and get started with the first strategy? And that is to forget what everyone else charges. This really is the biggest pricing mistake you can make because your fees, your income, your pricing shouldn't be tied into what everybody else charges, and the next 4 reasons will help explain that. I want to talk about an exercise that we hosted at a series of meetings we conducted back in 2009. First, we did a role play on how to sell a tax planning fee. We showed a system for analyzing a prospective client's tax return step by step. The goal was to find the mistakes and missed opportunities that cost the taxpayer money, quantify those mistakes and missed opportunities, confront the prospective client with the cost of those mistakes and missed opportunities, and present your tax planning service as the solution. The next morning, we passed around some slips of paper and asked everyone to price the tax return we had analyzed on Thursday. No names, no identifying information, just price the return. We put the prices into an Excel spreadsheet so that we could see the low, the high, and the average. Now, you would expect in a room of 20 people who are in the same profession near each other, there'd be a fairly low standard deviation. But what we found was not even close. In almost every exercise, I would say the highest in the room was 3 to 3.5 times the lowest fee. In one case, the low fee was $250, the high fee was $1,100. So that's approximately 4.5 times difference. What we found is a huge variation among peers offering what clients may see as the same service. The exercise in Orange County and in Connecticut yielded no different results from the exercise in Chicago or Tampa. Even in the country's heartland, we found that the variation in fees was just incredible. And this is all the same sort of folks pricing the exact same return as if the client had just walked in off the street. So that completely destroyed the idea that there's such a thing as a going rate. There isn't one. In the example in Tampa, for example, where the low member was charging $250 and the high member was charging $1,150, is the member charging $1,150 4.5 times better than the member charging $250? Absolutely not. There's so much variation in fees, there really is no going rate. If there's any one 800-pound pricing gorilla that I've seen, it's H&R Block. I can't tell you how many TaxCoach members have told me I try to figure out what H&R Block would charge and I undercut a little. So the first lesson here is to forget what everyone else is charging. It just doesn't matter. In a market where one CPA can charge 4 times what another charges for what is essentially the same return, it just makes no sense to tie yourself into what everyone else charges. Number 2 is change who you sell to. This single decision really does affect everything else that comes after. We see TaxCoach members targeting different markets. We see TaxCoach members who are targeting lower end filers looking to get a good volume of early season business. We see TaxCoach members who have minimum fees of $2,500 a year for new clients to come in, and we see everything in between. And the fact is, in this economy especially, the key to charging premium fees is finding clients who are willing and able to pay premium fees. So, you can operate a quick tax preparation shop that focuses on early season business and goes after volume, because the volume is where more customers are. But the fact is, the lower end of the market just doesn't have the money to support a premium fee service. You can certainly make it a profitable service, but you're not going to generate profits from charging premium fees. You're going to generate profits from creating operational efficiencies and leverage. Not a bad business, certainly not anything wrong with that. But if you're looking to charge premium fees, you have to go after a more affluent clientele. And for most TaxCoach members, that would be business owners. It could be independent contractors like real estate agents or insurance agents. It may be healthcare professionals. It may be construction professionals. We see all sorts of different target markets, but it just makes sense to target the client who's least likely to be affected by a recession and likely to be affected last by it, rather than by targeting mom and pop clients who really are watching every penny. In some cases, they aren't deciding between tax preparers, but deciding between having their taxes prepared professionally and going down to Staples and buying a copy of TurboTax. So it's crucially important, if you want to charge premium fees, to change who you sell to so that you're selling to a market that can afford premium fees. So changing who you sell to is a fundamental decision, and it really is the first piece in what we call the marketing triangle: market, message, media. The first step is the market. Who are you selling to? Second step is the message. What message do you want to deliver to your chosen target market? And with TaxCoach, the message is usually, you pay too much tax. I can help you pay less. Then finally, the third step is the media. What media is going to be most effective at delivering your chosen message to your chosen market? We see a lot of TaxCoach members who come to us and say, I've got $2,000 to spend on marketing. Should I do a mailer? Should I do a Valpak? Should I do an ad in the newspaper? Where should I spend my money? And that conversation is usually a little longer than the member expects, because I'm going to say, let's back it up a little bit. Who are you trying to attract? Who is your ideal client? Who is your market? The other way is ready, shoot, aim. But who you aim at makes all the difference. Look at who's making money in your area. Look at what clients you like to work with. Look at what clients you have an affinity to. If your husband or wife is a chiropractor, that's a good reason to work with chiropractors. In my case, my mother was a real estate agent. I started out working with real estate agents. What market can you target that's going to have the ability to pay premium fees, and who's going to have the interest in paying those premium fees to you? You might be surprised just how far you can go with premium fees. The perception here is that we live in a discount world. You turn on the TV and you see the Walmart commercials telling you you can afford more Christmas at Walmart, and everybody's got price rollbacks. But in fact, there are some people who will never shop at Walmart simply because of their image as a discounter. There really are some people who like to pay more than everybody else. They want the most expensive CPA in town. It makes them feel good about the work that's getting done, and it makes them feel good about themselves being able to afford the priciest CPA in town. There's some real psychology behind that. But too many CPAs don't start at the beginning with the fundamental question of who they are selling to, and if they want a lower volume, higher fee practice, you have to target the right clients. All right, number 3. Another big one, and that is to change what you sell. This is the key to eliminating and escaping pricing comparisons forever. It all goes down to the apples to apples comparison and educating prospects and clients as to your value and why you are more valuable than your competition. If your client thinks that you and the CPA across the street and the EA around the corner and the H&R Block across town all offer the same services and all offer the same value, well then you're an apple. You're just another apple, and you're going to be subject to whatever apples to apples comparisons the client is looking for. Convenient hours, convenient locations, fees, all the things that can cost you in an apples to apples comparison. They become important when your client thinks you're just an apple. If the client is looking for tax preparation and you offer tax preparation the same as everybody else who offers tax preparation, you're selling the same thing as everybody else. You're a commodity. And how can you charge a premium fee for a commodity? You can't. So you have to change what it is you sell. With tax planning, you have a tool for attracting affluent clients who think they pay too much, who are afraid they pay too much. You've got a tool that you can use to either initiate a new relationship or enhance an existing client relationship with a focus on planning. I have said for years, the fundamental wedge question to ask a new prospect is, when was the last time your CPA came to you and said, here's an idea that I think will save you money? For most clients, the answer to that question is never, because they're used to paying for tax preparation. If they're business clients, they're used to paying for accounting and tax preparation, write-up and tax preparation, payroll and tax preparation. Ultimately, it's the same service with the same value to the client. The key here is changing what you sell so that there is no competition. If I'm a tax preparer specializing in real estate agents, maybe I've got a little edge because I've got a specialty target market. But if I'm the only tax professional in Cincinnati offering planning-based tax management services for successful real estate agents, now I'm not an apple anymore. Now I'm an orange. Now I can escape those apples to apples price comparisons because I'm the only guy selling what it is I'm selling. Now I don't have to worry about price comparisons because there is no competition. So, to the extent you can change what you sell, that lets you set your own pricing in the absence of any competition whatsoever. And when the client says, oh, my last accountant charged me $350 for this work, and you're looking for $600, you can emphasize the fact that you're different. You're not providing the same service as this client's last CPA. Therefore, it doesn't matter what the last CPA charged. Now, psychologically, that's difficult for us. It's hard when we want to do business with a client. We like the person, we think we can do a good job for them, and we quote them a fee. The client comes back and says, I'm used to paying such and such. And you're so close to closing that client. You're so close, and you hate to give it up and walk away. And the tendency, I think, for too many of us is to just say, okay, I'll fold a little. I can do it for you. Bad, bad mistake. You're going to go home and you're not going to respect yourself in the morning. And the client's not going to respect you either. But if you can say to that client, well, I do something different. I do something more valuable. I do something better, and this is why I'm worth more. Bottom line here is to change what you sell. If you're selling something different than your competition is selling, then you don't get lumped in with that competition. and your fees don't compare unfavorably to that competition. Number 4, here's the final change, and that is to change how you sell it. And today's economy really does demand this adjustment. Here at TAXCOACH, we teach members about what we call the concentric circle theory of marketing. And it stems from the proposition that clients want to do business with people they know, people they like, and people they trust. And all of us have an inner circle, a natural market of people we grew up with, we went to school with, who know our family, who we've worked with. A core group of people who already know us, like us, and trust us. For most of us, when we open up our shop, those are our first clients, that core market. But unless you grew up in a very affluent area and all your friends switch CPAs when you open up your shop, that's not going to take care of you forever. So the next step out is referrals. Referrals are the people who know the people who already know us, like us, and trust us. And for just about all of you on this webinar, if I were to ask what is your most valuable source of new clients, where do most of your new clients come from? You would tell me referrals. File that away in the back of your head for a minute. The next circle out are the groups that our clients belong to. So in my case, targeting real estate agents, they belong to agencies and they belong to associations. They meet in groups, they're reachable in groups. For your target market, it might be medical associations, it might be a particular church membership, it might be people who share the same kind of hobby or investors, whatever groups your particular target market belongs to. There's great credibility in establishing expertise for them and then reaching them in those groups from a position of strength, authority, and expertise. Finally, there's the fourth circle out. That's the cold market circle. And this is the people who don't know you, don't like you, and don't trust you. They just don't know who you are. Maybe someday they will know you, like you, and trust you, but it's going to take time and effort for them to feel comfortable with you. So, I said a couple minutes ago, most of your clients come from referrals. Most of you spend more of your marketing time, effort, and money, though, on cold marketing. Things like newspaper ads, flyers, Valpak coupons, maybe sponsoring your own seminars if you offer financial services. It strikes me as silly to see people spending their money on prospects who are harder to reach, when in most cases you have a gold mine of prospective clients who are much easier to reach right under your nose. Now, it's always been true that the higher you move up the financial food chain, the less important cold marketing is, and the more important introductions and referrals are. But that's becoming true even for less affluent clients in today's economy. People are tighter with a buck. People are less likely to spend money, and there's a bigger hurdle for them to get over before they pull out their wallet or their checkbook. So if you focus your marketing and business development on those cold markets, you really are making your job a lot harder than you have to when you can focus on referrals. And the real shame is, everybody knows that referrals are the best way to generate clients, but very few of us have really systematized marketing to referrals. And when I ask TAXCOACH members, what systems do you have in place to generate referrals? I usually hear crickets chirping on the other end of the phone or at the other end of the conversation. Very few CPAs have explicitly and deliberately created systems to reach out to their current clients and generate referrals. That's a shame, because the clients you generate from referrals already have credibility. They already have trust in you because of that referral source. So they'll do business with you faster and at higher fees and are less likely to quibble about fees. Again, it's the explicit endorsement of the referral source. Also, referrals will be more likely to refer business to you themselves because that's the way they came in to do business with you. So when TAXCOACH members ask, what should be my first strategy for generating new business? Invariably, I want to analyze their current clientele and identify which of those current clients fit in the core target market that we talked about in number 2, changing who you sell to. So, how many of your current clients fit the mold of who you really want to do business with? Then put systems in place to generate referrals from them. Do you have a client referral program in place? And is it done well as opposed to a cheap $20 off coupon that doesn't impress affluent clients? Do you have a monthly mailed newsletter going out to stay in front of your clients 12 times a year? Do you have weekly emails going out so you can stay in touch with them another 52 times a year? Have you considered hosting client events or holiday parties? What are you doing to stay in front of your current clients so that you are reminding them of your value, turning every interaction with a client into a potential referral? It's common sense, and it really isn't a secret, but it may as well be considering how few CPAs have systems in place to generate referrals. Referrals are your best source of business. Change how you sell your services. Focus on generating referrals from your existing clients, and you're going to find you grow your practice faster and easier through referrals and systematized referrals than any other way. Number 5, I want to finish up with this one. It gets people really upset and embarrassed when they realize they're making this mistake. And the mistake is giving it away. So I'm here to tell you, if you get nothing else from this webinar, quit giving it away. Don't give it away. How much knowledge, accumulated wisdom, and value do all of us just give away for free without even realizing it? I want to walk you through a story about a client I worked with to illustrate this point. The client was a hairstylist who owned his own salon and was thinking there might be some things he could be doing differently to pay less tax. I met with him at a Starbucks here in Cincinnati. The client, Michael, brought his corporate and personal tax returns with him. I opened up his corporate return. It was a C corporation, and he had been zeroing out the profit every year to avoid corporate income tax. He'd been doing that by taking his salary, typically in the $90,000 to $95,000 range, bonusing himself at the end of the year, and creating a loss in the corporation by doing this. So when I opened the corporate return, I saw that there was about a $30,000 or $35,000 net operating loss carry forward. I asked Michael if he were not managing the shop himself, if he had to hire a manager to replace what he did, what would he have to pay that person? Michael said probably $45,000 or $50,000 a year. Now, most of you on this webinar already know exactly where I was going with the client. And the two primary strategies were, for the current year, to lower his salary, let the corporation turn a profit, let the net operating loss eat up the tax on that profit, then either convert to an S corporation or set up a new S corporation and pay a reasonable salary in the $45,000 to $50,000 range. And I quickly figured in the back of my head that over 5 years, those two strategies would save him about $35,000. Here's the key. Most CPAs in that situation would look at the client and say, here's what's going on. You're creating a net operating loss by paying yourself the excess salary to avoid the corporate tax, but you're locking up that net operating loss in the corporation where you can't use it. What we can do is, this year, lower your salary, create a profit, let the net operating loss soak up any tax on the profit. And by the way, you're paying yourself more salary than you need to, which means you're paying more employment tax, yada, 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 and give it away. And in 2 minutes, the typical CPA would give it all away. And in 2 minutes, where's the value in the planning? How valuable can it be if it really is that easy for you to spot it in 2 minutes and explain it in 2 minutes? And the answer is, it's not very valuable at all if the client sees you just give it away. So I didn't give it away. I looked at the return, asked some more questions, spent some more time with the corporate return, spent some more time with the personal return, and said, It looks like there are some things in how the business is structured and how your compensation is structured that's costing you a lot of money in tax you don't have to pay. My guess is around $35,000 over the next 5 years. Let me put together a plan that will outline what you need to do to rescue those wasted dollars. Here's the fee for the plan. I walked away from that appointment with a check in my pocket. Why? Because I'm smarter? No, I'm not smarter than you are. I spotted the same mistakes that all of you on the webinar spotted. Were my solutions any better? No, I had the same solutions that all of you would recommend as well. The difference is I didn't give that knowledge away. I got paid for it in a circumstance where most CPAs don't get paid for it. Now, you may think it only took a couple minutes to figure out the answer. There's the objection. How can you charge a planning fee for a couple of minutes? Well, first of all, how many years of training and experience did it take you to get to the point where you can diagnose the problem in 2 minutes? You really do have to amortize the cost of that training and experience in the fee that you charge. The second point is, who cares how long it takes to get the job done? If you save the client $35,000, does the client care if it took 2 minutes, 2 hours, or 2 weeks? As long as he saves $35,000, I think most clients really don't care. So if you focus your pricing on the value that you deliver to the client rather than the time that goes into creating the value, you divorce your fee from the cost of actually providing the service. And that's very, very important. Don't give it away. We've seen so many people give away so much information. One perennial question that I've gotten since we launched TAXCOACH: what do I do about the client who comes in for the free consultation, picks my brain for an hour, then takes my ideas back to their old CPA who implements them, and I never end up getting paid? And the answer is, whose fault is it that you let them? Whose fault is it that you gave away the free information? So don't offer a free consultation. Prospects think the free consultation means they get to pick your brain for an hour, and maybe you even buy them lunch. That's a heck of a deal. Change the free consultation to some sort of free analysis or free tax appraisal where you sit down, look at that client's taxes, and find the mistakes and missed opportunities. Then you don't give it away. You present your tax planning service at whatever fee you're going to charge as the solution, but you don't make free information right on the spot the solution. You work very, very hard to accumulate the knowledge and the wisdom that you use in your business every day. If you're like most CPAs, you take it for granted because you do it every day. Remember, you are not your prospect. You are not your client. You do this sort of stuff all day long, so it seems easy. But to your prospect, who has no idea how to pay $35,000 less tax, it's magic. Now, if your client's a heart surgeon, you wonder at the skill and the courage and the dedication it takes to cut open someone's chest with a bone saw and root around in their heart with a scalpel. We think that's pretty neat stuff. Well, to the heart surgeon, it's not. It's just another day at the office. Works the same for you. There are things that you take for granted that are magic to your prospect and clients. If you give away the information and the value, the concepts and the strategies that TAXCOACH helps you present to your clients, you're giving away something that you can really charge a lot of money for and make your clients happy to pay. There's no doubt that charging higher fees can help you find that elusive work-life balance that we're all looking for. But it doesn't happen accidentally, and it doesn't happen overnight. That's where TAXCOACH comes in. TAXCOACH gives you a step-by-step system for earning thousands in off-season revenue, selling high-value planning services. You'll also gain invaluable advice and counsel from CPAs across the country who are already using the service. Sign up for your 15-day free trial, and you'll enjoy all the benefits of the TAXCOACH system. Full access to our tax strategy planning software and related tax planning tools, a free half-hour consultation with our business building expert, and open door access to the Tax Coach community member call-ins and webinars. We're confident that once you see our value, you'll realize just how much we can add to your value. Join now, and you'll also get my latest book, 57 Ways to Get New Clients. Just type taxcoachsystem.com/AICPA in your browser now to start your free trial. You'll be glad you did. So, what are you waiting for?